Chapter 21 Shocked. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The opposing team, Xiao De and Xiao Wu, consisted of two middle-aged men. One had a wild boar spirit with a power level of 52, and the other a wild cat, level 51. Their spirit rings were white, yellow, and purple. Oscar observed, that pig and cat combo doesn't have the best ring setup, but they're both legit spirit kings. Xiao Wu's level 41, a spirit grandmaster, and Xiao De's a level 51 spirit king. Xiao Wu's rings are top-notch, but she's still a whole realm behind. And why hasn't Xiao De unleashed his spirit or rings? Is he afraid of showing his hand? Dai Mubai chimed in, Intel says Xiao De has a space-type spirit. Ever heard of that? Oscar shook his head. I only know about beast spirits and weapon spirits. Does space count as a weapon? We'll have to ask Dean Flender when we get back. It wasn't just them scratching their heads. Everyone was puzzled by this space spirit. Even Zhuqing was confused. Xiao De's space spirit was completely invisible, and she'd never seen him fight. Before, Xiao De didn't show in the solo spirit fight. A space spirit, isn't that super powerful? Totally. Ning agreed. She'd seen Xiao De use some spirit skills and thought the space abilities were amazing. Back in the fighting ring, the match had already started. Hey, I'll take the cat, Xiao Wu said. You hold off the wild boar. I want to play a little. Don't finish him too quick, or it'll be boring. She eyed the skinny middle-aged man with the wild cat spirit. You're with me. The wild cat spirit man smirked. Little girl, your rings are impressive, but the gap in our power is way too big. You're outmatched. You never know till you try. Don't underestimate me, Xiao Wu shot back playfully. Xiao De and the wild boar spirit man faced off, but neither seemed eager to start the fight. Xiao Wu jumped into action first. Suddenly, she teleported right next to the wild cat spirit man, who gasped, oh, crap. He hadn't expected her to teleport, it was too late to dodge. Caught off guard, he left himself open. Xiao Wu bent at the waist and sent a kick, sending him flying head over heels into the spirit fighting arena wall. Instant movement spirit skills. The wild boar spirit man was stunned and rushed to check on his teammate. Up in the stands, Oscar was impressed. Xiao Wu can teleport. That soft bone charm rabbit is a serious spirit. Catching him by surprise like that guy's gonna have a headache. Dai Mubai nodded. He definitely wasn't expecting that. Xiao Wu's skills are pretty slick, and she's no pushover. Oscar nudged him. Boss Dai, could you beat her? Dai Mubai thought for a second. She just used two skills, 100-year ring and 1,000-year ring, and there were two rings that she didn't show. It wouldn't be an easy win. Even though he had 4 levels of spirit power on Xiao Wu, Dai Mubai still had confidence in himself. Oscar added, looking at Xiao Wu and Xiao De, they're only a few years older than Ning and Zhuqing, and roughly as the same as Boss Dai. And they're already a spirit grandmaster and spirit king. These guys are monsters. Dai Mubai conceded, they look about my age, maybe a year or two older. Their talent is as good as mine. Thinking about a year or two later, Dai Mubai would at least be on par with Xiao Wu. Maybe he could reach Xiao De's soul power. Back in the arena, the battle continued. The wild cat spirit man was injured, but it wasn't serious. He was much tougher than that pushover Tianya that Xiao Wu had stomped before. Xiao Wu and the wild cat man traded blows. He was fast and sensitive, using his speed and superior power to keep Xiao Wu on the defensive. Then, the wild boar spirit man joined in, charging straight at Xiao De. Both were spirit kings, so the former set up a defensive skill, and then used the impact soul skill to hit Xiao De directly. Xiao De didn't use his martial soul, and he didn't use his soul skill. He directly used his soul power to bless him, and he punched the opponent's brutal impact soul skill. His impact soul skill is still 1,000-year soul ring soul skill, however, Xiao De blocked it. No way, that the wild boar spirit man was shocked. He had a powerhouse spirit. You didn't use a spirit or a skill. How could you block my attack? It didn't make sense. Xiao De calmly replied, I can't show my hand right at the start. My fist isn't that bad, you know. He shook his fist for emphasis, knocking the wild boar man back a few steps. Incredible. Oscar was speechless. Boss Dai, am I seeing things? Xiao De didn't use his spirit or any skills. He just used raw spirit power to block a 1,000-year soul ring attack. And his power's lower than his opponent's. How did he do that? Dai Mubai guessed, maybe the space spirit is unique. You can't see him using it. Some spirit masters can pull off instant skills. Maybe that's why you can't see his ring. Even he didn't sound convinced. Really? Oscar said dubiously. Instant skills, invisible spirits, that's twisted. Zhuqing was just as surprised. So that's the space spirit. Can he use skills instantly? Ning Rongrong confirmed, he can. But he didn't use a spirit or a skill just now. Zhuqing was floored. No spirit or skills. How's that even possible? Ning Rongrong smiled. Even though they're both spirit kings with similar levels of power, that power isn't the same for everyone. Some masters have stronger power than others at the same level. And Xiao De's power is seriously buff. If you could draw a line representing power level, Xiao De's line would be thick. Zhuqing nodded in understanding. Got it. Ning Rongrong added, not only that, Xiao De's also incredibly strong physically. That's why he can fight just using his power and still be a force to be reckoned with. Back in the arena, Xiao Wu had defeated the wild cat spirit man. Hey, take a breather. He's all mine, Xiao Wu announced, eager for more action. She stole Xiao De's opponent and faced off against the wild boar spirit man, facing a spirit master whose strength was also powerful. Both sides went head-to-head, forcing Xiao Wu to use her invincible golden body to deal with it. There was still a gap of 10 levels of spirit power. Even if Xiao Wu had strong soul power, she couldn't make up for this gap, with teleportation, waist bow, invincible golden body, and 8-stage throw. The battle between Xiao Wu and the wild boar spirit man was intense, and the audience watched with enthusiasm. They didn't expect a spirit sect to fight so fiercely with the spirit king, and it was enjoyable to watch. Oscar was stunned. Boss Dai, could you beat Xiao Wu now? Dai Mubai was speechless. It is still possible to be in the same realm, but now the realm is different. I have no chance of winning. Her golden body seems to be able to ignore any attack for a short time, plus teleportation, domineering melee attacks. It is very difficult to deal with. Bone charming rabbit, I think it's a violent rabbit. Oscar marveled at Xiao Wu's explosive combat power. It's strange. Then Xiao De didn't do much. How strong is he? Dai Mubai, why don't you try it? Oscar shook his head. I'm just a food-type soul master, I don't know how to fight. Not long after, the battle was over. Xiao Wu was almost 1 against 2, and still won. Of course, if fighting 2 people at the same time, Xiao Wu has little chance of winning. Zhuqing sighed. Xiao Wu is really strong. Ning Rongrong deeply agreed. Sister Xiao Wu, the name of eldest sister is not for boasting. I heard that Xiao Wu is the eldest sister of their academy. Zhuqing smiled. It fits Xiao Wu's character. It's just that I didn't see how Xiao De made a move. Ning Rongrong said, there will be opportunities in the future, maybe you can try it yourself. Zhuqing smiled wryly. Is that looking for abuse? End of this chapter. Chapter 22. Don't be too surprised. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Wow, Xiao Wu, you were totally rocking that spirit fight. You were like a force of nature in there. Back in the lounge, Ning Rongrong showered Xiao Wu with compliments. Xiao Wu grinned. It was alright. I wasn't that impressive. I mean, having my brother there helps. I doubt I could have taken on 2 opponents by myself. Zhuqing simply added, amazing. Xiao Wu looked at Xiao De adoringly. My brother's the best, though. Xiao De smiled. You're all excellent. Only a handful of people your age could even come close. Ning Rongrong chimed in, laughing, come on, how many people can beat you, Chowda? I bet nobody. You're the absolute best. Zhuqing and I were really hoping to see you in action, but oh well. Xiao Wu looked a little sheepish. Sorry about that. I hogged all the spotlight. Next time, my brother can show off for you guys. Ning Rongrong and Zhuqing both turned to Chowda, their eyes expectant. Chowda shrugged, playing it cool. I'm at my best when I'm up against a real challenge. There'll be other chances. Anyway, the spirit fights are over for today, and it's getting late. Time to head back. I'll whip up something delicious tonight to make up for all the energy we burned. Ning Rongrong clapped her hands in delight. Awesome. We're counting on you, chef. Chowda's cooking was addictive, and Zhuqing was definitely looking forward to it too. The four of them left the Great Spirit Arena together. Unbeknownst to them, Dai Mubai and Oscar were tailing them at a distance and found the inn where they were staying. We found their place. So, what's the plan, Boss Dai? Oscar was at a loss when it came to winning over the picky Ning Rongrong. He hoped Dai Mubai, with his experience, could come up with something. Plenty of options. Dai Mubai pondered for a moment. Now that we know where they are, we can start with gifts. Roses, jewelry, gourmet treats, the works. We can also, accidentally, bump into them around town, and they're probably regulars at the Great Spirit Arena, right? We can go there too, enter the single and double spirit fights. Maybe even rig a match or two, besides. Oscar listened intently, impressed. This guy's a real pro. Okay, I'll do whatever you say, Boss Dai. We'll get someone to deliver flowers to their rooms tomorrow morning. A nice surprise to start their day. Then we'll happen to be in the neighborhood, see if we can run into them. That's bound to make an impression after a while. Suddenly energized, the two started making preparations. Chowda, Xiao Wu, Ning Rongrong, and Zhuqing were completely unaware of their plans. Back at the inn, the four of them were busy in the kitchen, with Xiao Wu, Ning Rongrong, and Zhuqing helping Chowda. As long as you had the cash, you could rent the inn's kitchen for as long as you wanted, and Ning Rongrong was a generous spender. Chowda pulled out the fish and seafood he and Xiao Wu had caught at the capture space fishing platform the night before, along with some local ingredients, and started creating a feast. Ning Rongrong, her curiosity finally getting the better of her, asked, Xiao Wu, Chowda, seriously, where did you get all this fish and seafood? It's still a mystery to me. Are we even friends? Chowda chuckled. What took you so long to ask? Ning Rongrong pouted. I thought maybe it was a secret. But the way you said that, you were waiting for me to ask, weren't you? You guys are teasing me. Zhuqing, they're bullying me. Zhuqing simply shrugged, feeling a little awkward since she was still relatively new to the group. Chowda grinned. Since you finally asked, I'll tell you tonight. Zhuqing can come too. Humph. So mysterious, Ning Rongrong grumbled. I want to see what all the fuss is about. Chowda cooked a massive meal and finally put the finishing touches on the dishes. After a short break, Chowda got ready to take them into the captured space. Rongrong, Zhuqing, I'm going to show you where all that fish and seafood comes from. Right now. Now. Ning Rongrong looked confused. It's practically midnight. Xiao Wu just smiled mysteriously. You're in for a shock. Ning Rongrong and Zhuqing exchanged puzzled glances, wondering what Chowda and Xiao Wu were up to. Chowda used the power of the captured space to teleport Xiao Wu, Ning Rongrong, and Zhuqing into the captured space. In an instant, the environment changed completely. They found themselves on a small island, complete with a tall coconut tree and a fishing platform surrounded by an endless ocean. This. Ning Rongrong and Zhuqing stared in disbelief, speechless, seeing their reactions. Chowda explained, my martial spirit is unique. This is the special space where it exists. Although Ning Rongrong and Zhuqing had experienced the capture space when binding with Chowda, it had been just a split second, and they had been unconscious at the time. This place was completely foreign to them. After hearing Chowda's explanation, they were even more astonished. Such a thing was beyond their wildest imaginations. Ning Rongrong asked, "We're inside your martial spirit. Is all this real?" Xiao Wu nodded. "It sounds crazy, but it's true. We caught all those fish and seafood here. You can too, but right now you're just great spirit masters, so you only get 2 successful catches each time. I get 4, and my brother gets 5. The fishing platform's over there. That's where you fish." It was like a dream. A total dream. Ning Rongrong and Zhuqing took a moment to process everything before it finally sunk in. "Come on, let's go fishing." Xiao Wu led them to the fishing platform and showed them how to cast their lines. The fishing platform itself was strange and beautiful, with the words on it adding to the overall mystery of the place. "We can fish here, and we can also train. My brother and I often fish at night while we're training, and we can even sleep here when we're tired. We've got beds set up. There are plenty of fishing rods here. Give it a try and see what you catch. You might be pleasantly surprised." The first thing Xiao Wu and Chowda had caught here were pills that increased their soul power by 1 level. Judging from their experiences, Ning Rongrong and Zhuqing were probably in for something similar. It was so miraculous, so unique. Of course, Ning Rongrong and Zhuqing were eager to try it out, but the waiting involved in fishing was boring, and Ning Rongrong was already getting impatient. "Xiao Wu, it's been almost 2 hours. Why hasn't anything happened?" Xiao Wu shrugged. "I told you to train while you're waiting. That's how you keep from getting bored." Ning Rongrong shook her head. "How can I focus on training right now?" She had been too excited to focus at first, and now she was just impatient. Chowda tried to reassure her. "You get 2 successful catches a day, sooner or later. As long as you keep fishing, you'll catch something. Just be patient and keep waiting." There was no other choice. Ning Rongrong and Zhuqing could only keep waiting. Another hour passed. Zhuqing got a bite. Xiao Wu exclaimed, "Yep. Another soul power booster. Take it, Zhuqing, and your soul power will instantly increase by 1 level." Zhuqing swallowed the pill, and her soul power immediately jumped to level 28. Ning Rongrong perked up, hoping she'd catch one of those pills as well. Chapter 23 Shrek 7 Monsters Become Shrek 4 Monsters. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 23, The 7 Shrek Monsters Become the 4 Shrek Monsters. My soul power's already at level 27. This panacea is unbelievable. Ning Rongrong exclaimed, having also snagged a panacea that bumped her soul power up a level. Zhuqing, standing on the fishing platform, took in the sight of the tiny island beneath her feet, just a speck in the vastness. Yet, it felt magical, both dreamlike and real. Finally, she sighed, "This is truly incredible." "I had the same reaction when I first got here," Xiao Wu chimed in. "It felt like a dream, but it's real. Look, the red fish I just caught. It's the same kind we eat outside." She continued, "There's all sorts of fish and seafood here, and they're all imbued with spiritual energy. They can really help us improve our cultivation." After a pause, Xiao Wu glanced at Chowda, who was busy cultivating nearby, and then confided to Ning Rongrong and Zhuqing, "Listen, because my brother and I have been eating this stuff for ages, we've grown up super fast. And our training speed's gone through the roof. I told you before it was because of my physique. Actually, eating this good stuff for so long is what changed my physique. So, yeah, good stuff. If you eat it regularly, your bodies will change too. The fish and seafood in this space can change your body and speed up your training." Ning Rongrong and Zhuqing exchanged surprised glances. "Really?" Xiao Wu nodded emphatically. "Really. Now that we're friends, part of the same team, I'm telling you. But you gotta keep it a secret." If she hadn't known that Ning Rongrong and Zhuqing were also bound to this space and wouldn't betray Chowda, Xiao Wu wouldn't have spilled the beans. Ning Rongrong and Zhuqing were genuinely touched. Xiao Wu's sincerity was clear in her words and expression. We promise, we won't tell anyone, they vowed. Ning Rongrong suddenly realized, no wonder I've felt like I've been leveling up faster lately. It's because I've been eating the food from this place every day. Zhuqing had a similar feeling, but since she hadn't been eating it as long as Ning Rongrong, it wasn't as noticeable. Now thoroughly intrigued, Ning Rongrong said excitedly, Xiao Wu, Zhuqing and I can try to catch another fish before the day's over, right? Let's get a move on, Xiao Wu explained, everyone's fishing time is different each day, but your personal time frame is pretty consistent. Even though the day's almost over, you might still get a chance. Give it a shot. Oh. Ning Rongrong mused, then we need to figure out the approximate time when we can fish each day. Xiao Wu shared her experience, based on what my brother and I have seen, you'll probably get 2 shots a day, usually in the morning and evening. As your soul power increases, so will the number of chances. You'll get morning, afternoon, and evening, and maybe even early morning. We'll just have to experiment and figure it out. We can stick around here and try again tomorrow. Ning Rongrong and Zhuqing readily agreed, so, the 4 of them spent most of their time in the captured space, only leaving to grab meals. Meanwhile, Dai Mubai and Oscar were totally bummed out. They loitered around the inn where Chao De and the others were staying, hoping to run into them, but Ning Rongrong and Zhuqing holed up in the inn the whole time, only using the kitchen to cook. Despite their efforts, Dai Mubai and Oscar couldn't catch a glimpse of them. Boss Dai, didn't you say they'd be back in the spirit fights at the Great Soul Arena? Why have they been stuck in the inn all this time? Oscar whined, if Rongrong doesn't show, all our planning's been for nothing. Dai Mubai threw his hands up. How would I know? We just gotta wait. Oscar groaned, the college enrollment's in a few days. We have to go back and help. Looks like I won't see my Rongrong for a while. She can't leave Soto City before I do. Consumed by curiosity and the benefits of the space food, Ning Rongrong and Zhuqing forgot all about the Great Soul Arena, focusing instead on training in the captured space. Before they knew it, they'd spent over 10 days in the inn, mostly within the captured space. Ning Rongrong's soul power hit level 28, Zhuqing's reached level 29, and Xiao Wu's soared to level 42. Shrek Academy's enrollment was over, and they'd only recruited 1 student who met their standards. Tang San. Yu Xiaojiang had recommended Tang San to sign up and he'd aced the assessment. Ma Hongjun scoffed, isn't Blue's silver grass a useless martial soul? How could it have full innate soul power? It's so weird, Oscar replied, that's because he's a freak. Teacher Zhao Waoqi personally tested him, and he even hurt Zhao Waoqi. Have you ever seen a trash martial soul do something like that? Compared to Tang San, we're not monsters, he is. Dai Mubai clapped Tang San on the back. Tang San, welcome to Shrek Academy. We're sorted by age. I'm the oldest, then Oscar, you're third, and Ma Hongjuan's the baby. The 7 Shrek monsters had become the 4 monsters. Tang San was also surprised by Dai Mubai, Ma Hongjun, and Oscar's talents, especially Oscar, who was a rare food-type soul master born with full soul power. Shrek Academy didn't disappoint Tang San, and he thought it was a good place to train. Yu Xiaojiang didn't come to Shrek Academy. Tang San and his classes were relatively easy, therefore, Dai Mubai and the others have more time to play in Soto City. Little San, let's go, I'll take you around Soto City. Dai Mubai, Oscar, Tang San, and Ma Hongjun headed into Soto City together. Ma Hongjun cheerfully said, Boss Dai, lend me some cash so I can find a girl. This guy was going to the red light district. Dai Mubai lectured him sternly, Fatty, don't you care about yourself? Why are you going to a place like that? Don't you know how to find a girlfriend on your own? Oscar echoed, that's right, Fatty, you're not a kid anymore. Time to grow up. Quit being ridiculous and find a girl you actually like. Your sister, did these 2 guys take something today? We always go together. What's with the change? Oh, they don't want to lend me money. Ma Hongjun said angrily, Boss Dai, Oscar, I thought I knew you guys. Then he turned to Tang San. Brother San, you got any spare cash? Lend me some. I'll take you to a cool place later. He winked at Tang San. Tang San roughly understood what was going on and said awkwardly, you can borrow money, but I'm not going with you. Fatty, it's probably not good to go to a place like that. Ma Hongjun said cheerfully, thanks, third brother. You're way better than some people. Dai Mubai patted Tang San on the shoulder, then whispered to him about the side effects of Ma Hongjun's martial soul mutation. After listening, Tang San looked at Ma Hongjun strangely, expressed understanding and sympathy, and stopped trying to dissuade Ma Hongjun from going to the red light district. Ma Hongjun's martial soul had mutated into an evil fire phoenix. As a result, he needed to release the fire with someone. End of this chapter. Chapter 24 Needle Needle Prick Tang 3. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 24, Screw You, Tang San. Soto City, the Great Spirit Arena. After another 10 days of training, Chao, Xiao Wu, Ning and Zhuqing were back in the Great Spirit Arena, ready for more soul battles. Today's schedule was packed, individual matches for Zhuqing, Chao, and Xiao Wu, plus a tag team match for Ning and Zhuqing. They'd already swept the board, winning every single one. Now, only Chao and Xiao Wu's team battle remained. Their opponents were set, and the match was about to kick off. Hurry! Oscar shouted, Boss Dai, look! They're here! Dai Mubai, Oscar, Tang San, and Ma Hongjun hurried into the arena just as Chao and Xiao Wu's fight was about to begin. After arriving in Soto City from Shrek Academy, they'd first gone to the inn where Chao and the others were staying, only to find they'd checked out. They guessed they might be at the Great Spirit Arena, and it turned out they were right. They made it just in time to catch the final fight of the day. Spotting Ning and Zhuqing in the stands, Oscar was ecstatic. A day apart felt like an eternity. It had been over 10 days, and Oscar had been thinking about Ning day and night. Seeing her again was a massive relief. Dai Mubai was equally thrilled to see Zhuqing. Unfortunately, all the seats near Ning and Zhuqing were taken. Dai Mubai was stuck a bit further away, and with the fight about to start, it wasn't a good time to try and strike up a conversation. That's her. Ma Hongjun recognized Ning and was immediately taken aback. Oscar looked confused. Fatty, didn't you say you knew them? Ma Hongjun nodded. I know the girl in the blue dress. He turned to Dai Mubai. Boss Dai, remember when I got beat up? It was because of her. There was a guy and another girl with her. It was that guy who did it. Still holding a grudge, huh? Oscar, unaware of the incident, listened as Dai Mubai explained the situation. Fatty, you had it coming, Oscar said, once he understood. No one wants to be bothered like that, and you got off easy. Besides, her name is Ning. She's my princess. That other one is Zhuqing, who belongs to Boss Dai. Lay off, alright? A friend's wife is off limits. Ma Hongjun finally understood. Oh, so that's why you haven't been hitting the bars. You've got a new target. Unreal. Tang San just shook his head, rolling his eyes at their antics. The soul battle is about to begin. Please welcome the soul fighters to the arena. Tonight, the Mantis and Bees team will battle against Chao and Xiao Wu. The Mantis and Bees are both soul kings. A level 55 Mantis Martial Soul King and a level 53 Bee Martial Soul King. Facing them are Chao and Xiao Wu. Chao is a level 51 Space Martial Soul King, and Xiao Wu is a level 42 Soft Bone Charm Rabbit Martial Soul Sect. The referee began the introductions. Oscar said, these two Soul Kings are even stronger than the last ones. Boss Dai, do you think Xiao Wu can beat two Soul Kings again? Before Dai Mubai could answer, Ma Hongjun blurted out in shock, those are the guys. That's the dude who beat me up. He's a Soul King. No wonder I couldn't do anything. Oh well. He had been hoping for revenge, but seeing that Chao was a Soul King, he decided he'd rather run the other way next time. Ma Hongjun's reaction was expected, but Tang San's excitement was something else. Dai Mubai noticed Tang San's unusual behavior and asked, Little San, do you know Xiao Wu and Chao? Tang San snapped out of his trance, quickly regaining his composure. I met them 6 years ago in Notting City. I haven't seen them since. I didn't expect to run into them here. It's a surprise, that's all. For the past 6 years, Tang San had tried to forget about Xiao Wu, but he hadn't been able to. Seeing her again set his heart ablaze. He wouldn't lose Xiao Wu. 6 years ago, Oscar was surprised. So you're old friends? Do you know Ning Rongrong and Zhuqing, too? Tang San shook his head. Just Xiao Wu and him. He didn't even want to say Chowda's name. Tang San wished Chowda would just disappear, so he could have Xiao Wu to himself. He'd never been in love in his past life, and he didn't know how to love, but when he saw Xiao Wu, it felt like destiny. Xiao Wu felt like someone he couldn't let go of, and a voice inside told him he had to have her. 6 years had calmed those feelings, but now, seeing Xiao Wu again, the longer the silence, the stronger the eruption. Oscar asked, since you know Xiao Wu and Chowda, tell us about them. Let's talk after the fight, Tang San said, clearly distracted. Right now, he just wanted to watch Xiao Wu. Oscar figured that made sense. They could catch up on the details after the fight was over. The match began. Chowda still hasn't released his spirit or spirit rings, Oscar observed. Ma Hongjun grumbled, just trying to be mysterious. The fight got underway. The mantis and bees seemed to have studied Chowda and Xiao Wu's previous fight. They were prepared, especially for Xiao Wu's teleportation and close-quarters attacks. Their team was a man and a woman. The man was about 40, and the woman looked to be in her 30s. Both of their spirit rings were white, yellow, and purple. Both also possessed flying spirit abilities. They immediately used their flying abilities, taking advantage of their aerial and speed advantages. The distance between the two teams exceeded 5 meters, putting Xiao Wu's teleportation out of range, but there was a solution. Chowda grabbed Xiao Wu's hand and tossed her into the air. Fall back. The mantis and bees assumed Xiao Wu would launch a teleportation attack as soon as she was airborne, and they quickly backed off. However, the moment Xiao Wu was launched, she vanished. At that distance, a normal teleport wouldn't reach them. This was a feint. Then, to everyone's surprise, Xiao Wu reappeared behind the mantis martial soul guy, who was 8 meters away. This was different from what they knew about Xiao Wu's teleportation. What the? The opponent was stunned. Waist bow, he didn't have time to react before Xiao Wu's waist bow sent him crashing to the ground. Weird, Oscar muttered. Xiao Wu's teleportation range should be within 5 meters. Isn't that distance 8 meters? Dai Mubai was equally confused. Could her spirit skill have evolved? Maybe the range increased. Or was she holding back before? Tang San had his own theory. He was watching Chowda closely, suspecting that Chowda was assisting Xiao Wu somehow, but he didn't voice his thoughts. Chowda was helping Xiao Wu. He was using his space jump spirit skill, which could not only teleport himself but also teleport objects, allowing Xiao Wu to teleport. Chowda's space jump could reach a maximum distance of 10 meters. The mantis martial soul guy had used a defensive spirit skill right before landing, minimizing the damage. Still, his expression turned serious. He'd initially thought they had a chance against Chowda and Xiao Wu, but now that chance had shrunk to almost nothing. Xiao Wu descended from the sky, and Chowda caught her in a princess carry. Chowda and Xiao Wu are a great couple. If I could be with Rongrong like that, that would be the dream. Oscar said, enviously. Tang San felt a pang of pain in his heart. Xiao Wu was his. Damn Chowda. He was determined to take Xiao Wu back, no matter what. End of chapter. Chapter 25. Xiao Wu. I don't remember who Tang San is. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 25, Xiao Wu. Tang San. Doesn't ring a bell. 5th soul skill, praying mantis / 5th soul skill, poison mist. The fight raged on in the arena, the praying mantis and bee duo unleashing their deadliest attacks. The bee-type spirit master flooded the arena with poisonous mist, quickly engulfing Chowda and Xiao Wu. Under cover of the mist, the mantis-type spirit master launched a relentless barrage of slashes, each strike carrying the mist's venom. Slash after slash ripped through the poisonous fog, targeting Chowda and Xiao Wu. Fourth soul skill, invincible golden body. Xiao Wu threw herself in front of Chowda. No need for him to even lift a finger. Her invincible golden body activated, blocking every attack for a full 3 seconds. Chowda didn't waste a moment. Second soul skill, spatial lock. He seized control of the space containing the poisonous mist, halting its spread. Then, defying all logic, he forced the mist to reverse direction, surging back toward the Mantis-type Spirit Master. What the? The B-type Spirit Master gaped in disbelief as the mist slipped from her control. In that instant of surprise, Chowda launched Xiao Wu. A spatial jump teleported her directly behind the B-type Spirit Master. Waist bow. Xiao Wu's kick sent her opponent flying. Teleport. Waist bow again. Teleport. Another waist bow. The final kick sent the B-type Spirit Master crashing out of the arena, disqualifying her from the match. That left the Mantis-type Spirit Master, now choked by his own teammates' poisonous mist. He wasn't worried about the poison itself. The B-type Spirit Master had given him a detoxifying honey beforehand. But the mist had blocked his vision, preventing him from helping her. Now he hesitated, unsure whether to continue. Suddenly, he gasped for air, his lungs burning. He thrashed about, unleashing random soul skills in desperation. Moments later, he collapsed, unconscious from oxygen deprivation. Dude, did he just get taken out by his own partner's poison? That the audience seemed to agree. Some weren't convinced, though. It didn't seem possible that he'd be affected by his own poison. This looked more like Chowda and Xiao Wu, somehow, made the play, but there was no concrete evidence. Dai Mubai turned to Tang San. Little San, did you see what happened? Tang San guessed, it must have something to do with Chowda's spatial abilities. Some kind of invisible space manipulation. Dai Mubai nodded. Space-type spirits just keep getting more and more mysterious. With the Mantis-type Spirit Master out cold and the B-type Spirit Master injured and out of bounds, Chowda and Xiao Wu were declared the victors. Chowda's spatial lock didn't just extract oxygen, it could manipulate any gas within a confined area. He'd simply redirected the poisonous mist from one space to another, trapping their opponent. We make a great team, don't we? As the referee announced their victory, Xiao Wu leaned over and kissed Chowda on the cheek. Lots of people watching. Aren't you embarrassed? Chowda teased. Oops. Guess I forgot myself for a second. Xiao Wu's face flushed bright red. Watching from the stands, Oscar sighed. Public displays of affection. So jealous. Tang San's heart ached. Ma Hongjun snorted. Nothing to be jealous about. It's just a girl. It's not like I haven't been there, done that. Dai Mubai glared at Zhuqing. Oscar glanced over. Boss Dai, Rong and Zhuqing are heading out. Should we follow them? Dai Mubai thought for a moment, then shook his head. Let's wait outside the arena. We can accidentally run into them when they come out. Oscar grinned. Good call. Ma Hongjun scoffed. Is that really necessary? Oscar shot back. Fatty, you go throw money at a woman. You wouldn't understand the meaning of love. What's that supposed to mean? Ma Hongjun bristled. Oscar, let's go right now. Oscar and Dai Mubai were already on their way out. Tang San trailed behind. Ma Hongjun had no choice but to follow. The four of them hurried from the Great Spirit Arena, waiting for Chowda and the girls to emerge. 10 minutes later. There they are. Oscar perked up. Chowda, Xiao Wu, Ning and Zhuqing strolled out of the arena, talking and laughing. Dai Mubai and his crew pretended to arrive as if by chance. Zhuqing, Rong. What a coincidence. Are you competing in the arena again? Dai Mubai jumped in. Oscar smiled. Rong, is your match over for today? Chowda and the girls didn't suspect a thing. Ning Rong's expression soured. It's you again. You're annoying just to look at. Zhuqing remained silent. Xiao Wu spoke up. Why don't you guys get the hint? Stop bothering Rong and Zhuqing. Dai Mubai grinned. We're not bothering anyone. We just happened to be here, so we said hello. Oscar chimed in. Yeah, just saying hi. No need to be hostile. Meeting new people is always a good thing. Zhuqing cast a cold glance at Dai Mubai, not interested. Ning Rongrong said, let's go. Don't even acknowledge them. Then Tang San stepped forward, his eyes locked on Xiao Wu, long time no see. Meeting face to face, Tang San couldn't hold back, staring intently at Xiao Wu. Xiao Wu looked puzzled, who are you? Do I know you? That she didn't recognize him. He was a completely different person than he had been 6 years ago. Besides, she hardly remembered Tang San from back then. Tang San explained, I'm Tang San. We met in Notting City, 6 years ago. Chowda couldn't help but notice how much Tang San had changed. He recognized Tang San, but he didn't want to re-establish their connection. Tang San. Notting City. Xiao Wu frowned, searching her memories. I think I remember something, but not really. I don't remember much from 6 years ago. Tang San's heart sank. Xiao Wu didn't remember him at all. It doesn't matter if you don't remember. We can get to know each other again now. My name is Tang San. It's nice to meet you, Xiao Wu. His eyes held such sincerity. Xiao Wu's reaction was indifferent. Oh, okay. Then she took Chowda's arm and turned to the others, brother, Rongrong, Zhuqing, let's go. We need to head back and start dinner. Chowda smiled, glanced at Tang San, and walked away with Xiao Wu and the girls. Tang San's heart was breaking. He longed for Xiao Wu to call him brother, to take his arm, to cook with him, to be close to him. Overwhelmed by pain, Tang San began to cry. Little San, are you alright? Dai Mubai and the others realized that Tang San must have had feelings for Xiao Wu 6 years ago, and he still did. Seeing her now, in another man's arms, must be devastating. They'd been falling in love since they were 6 years old. They couldn't help but admire Tang San. Seeing Tang San like this, Dai Mubai and Oscar felt sympathy. Come on, guys. They're just women, all over the place. Ma Hongjun tried to cheer them up. Let's go. I'll take you to some ladies, let loose a little. Get lost. Get lost. Get lost. Taken aback by their outburst, Ma Hongjun sulked off to find a woman to drown his sorrows. End of this chapter. Chapter 26. Because they owe a beating. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xiao Wu, what's up with Tang San? He seems super into you. Was he crushing on you 6 years ago? Talk about persistent. Ning Rongrong was all gossip on the way back. Xiao Wu shook her head. I don't even remember seeing him back then. She turned to Chowda. Hey, remember him, bro? Chowda shrugged. Maybe we knew him. Ning Rongrong teased, come on, Chowda, you're totally playing it cool. Are you jealous? Xiao Wu gave Chowda a hopeful look, wanting to see if he was. Chowda stayed calm. I'd be lying if I said I didn't care at all. But if people are into Xiao Wu, it just means she's awesome, so I should be happy for her. Xiao Wu beamed. Don't worry, bro, you'll always be the one for me. Ning Rongrong sighed enviously. I'm so jealous. Xiao Wu reassured her. Rongrong, Zhuqing, you guys are gorgeous too. Plenty of guys are into you. Ning Rongrong pouted. So, if some guy likes me, should I just say yes? Unless he's like Chowda, maybe. Hey, Xiao Wu, wanna share Chowda with me? Xiao Wu giggled. Sure. My brother's amazing, lots of girls must be after him. As long as he's happy, I don't mind. Yeah right, I don't buy it, Ning Rongrong said, shaking her head. Chowda chimed in. You're all my type. If you came on to me, I wouldn't say no. Oh, so you want to have it all? Ning Rongrong scoffed. Nice try. Xiao Wu teased, hey Rongrong, why don't you just go for my brother? We can both marry him. Zhuqing shook her head, unsure if they were joking or testing the waters. She stole a glance at Chowda, keeping her thoughts to herself. Hey, there's a wonton place over there. Wanna grab some for dinner and skip cooking? Xiao Wu suddenly craved wontons as they passed a street vendor. Wontons sound amazing. It's been forever. Ning Rongrong and Zhuqing agreed instantly. Chowda was happy to tag along. 4 big bowls of wontons, please. Coming right up. The vendor replied. Ning Rongrong worried. A big bowl? I don't know if I can finish it. Chowda waved it off. I'll eat whatever you can't. Deal. The wontons arrived quickly, smelling delicious. Just as they were about to dig in, someone went flying and crashed into their table, sending wontons and table flying. Chowda and the others reacted fast and dodged. The vendor was stunned. A young guy lay on the ground, writhing in pain. 3 guys swaggered over. One of them had kicked the kid. Get lost. Mind your own business. Total jerks. Bystanders scurried away, not wanting trouble. The vendor was a nervous wreck, not sure whether to run or stay. Chowda and his friends just watched, unfazed. Those wontons are gonna get paid for. Xiao Wu stood up. Did you guys kick him? Well, look what we have here, a pretty lady. The redhead of the group smirked. Yeah, we did it. What's it to you, sweetheart? That Xiao Wu was ticked off. You trashed our wontons. You're paying for them. And the table, too. The horse-faced guy in the group scoffed. Don't think I won't hit a girl. Beat it and stay out of it. The tall guy stepped forward. Hey, you girls are kinda cute. How about you hang with us for the night? We'll cover the wontons, and more. Before he could finish, Chowda punched the tall guy square in the face. The guy went spinning, spitting blood and teeth, and crashed to the ground. Zhuqing didn't hesitate and kicked the horse-faced guy, sending him flying. Xiao Wu kicked the redhead into the air, sending him sprawling. Awesome! Ning Rongrong cheered. The onlookers were speechless, some even running away. You're dead meat. The 3 of them scrambled to their feet and summoned their spirit powers, yellow, and purple soul rings blazing. They were soul masters. And not just any soul masters, but the optimal configurations, with talent that surpassed many. They'd been caught off guard, but now they were furious. You're all gonna pay tonight. The guys are dead, and the girls are gonna wish they were. Xiao Wu pointed at them. Bring it on. Let's see who messes with who. Suddenly, 4 soul rings appeared around her, yellow, and purple. Zhuqing and Ning Rongrong showed their rings, 2, yellow. A soul sect and 2 great soul masters with top-tier soul ring setups. The 3 jerks froze in their tracks. This is not good. How were they supposed to fight this? And that guy without any soul rings looked even more dangerous. Screw this. You'll regret messing with Barak Academy. You're gonna die a miserable death. Just wait, don't think you're getting away with this. They turned tail and ran. Hey! You haven't paid for the wontons yet. Xiao Wu tried to chase them, but Zhuqing stopped her. Chowda said, beating them up counts as payment. I'll cover the vendor's loss. They got off easy. Ning Rongrong grumbled. The vendor came over, relieved but still scared. Just go, it's fine. I'm packing up and going back to the countryside for a while. They're from Barak Academy. They're rich and powerful. You can't mess with them. You need to go now, before they come back with friends. Ning Rongrong was defiant. So what? It's just Barak Academy. We're not afraid of King Barak. She handed the vendor some soul coins. Don't worry, we've got this. The vendor just shook his head. He couldn't convince them. He started cleaning up, planning his escape to the countryside. The kid was still on the ground. Okay, stop faking it. You're a soul master. You're fine, Chowda said to the kid. The kid got up, looking embarrassed. Sorry for the trouble. Xiao Wu asked, what's your name? Why were they picking on you? I'm Yu Hang, a level 22 great soul master. I'm a student at Barak Academy. I accidentally ticked them off, ran into them tonight, and they chased me here, he explained. Ning Rongrong was surprised. Barak Academy students are supposed to be rich. I guess you must be someone important. Yu Heng gave a wry smile. My family are merchants, not nobles. In Barak Academy, guys like me always get pushed around by the nobles. Alright. We don't want to get involved in your drama, you can go now. Chowda didn't want to get caught up in their mess, the kid apologized again. I'm sorry for the trouble. I'll leave. But be careful, those guys are nobles, and they'll call in stronger soul masters. You should probably lay low. Then he left. Chowda and the others hadn't stepped in out of some sense of justice, they had just been irritated. Ning Rongrong sighed. Ugh, no wontons, just drama. Chowda smiled. I'll make you some when we get back. You better. That they were in better spirits as they walked back to the inn, laughing and chatting. Chowda's seafood wontons, made with ingredients from his space, were delicious. Chapter 27 Ning Fengzhi, Sword Douluo, and Bone Douluo are in a hurry. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Oscar, 4 days, boss die. You think we still got a shot? That night, Oscar, Dai Mubai, Tang San, and Ma Hongjun were tossing back some drinks. For 4 days straight, Dai Mubai, Oscar, even Tang San were all in, sending flowers to Zhuqing, Ning Rongrong, and Xiao Wu, accidentally, bumping into them, cheering them on at the Great Soul Arena, but all they got was the cold shoulder. Oscar was feeling like it was a lost cause, and he was about to throw in the towel. Ma Hongjun, always on the sidelines, chimed in with a smirk, hee, I told you guys you didn't have a prayer. Believe me now. You're heading back to the academy soon, won't be hitting the city for a while, so you're extra sunk. Me? I say rip the band-aid off. There are plenty of fish in the sea, bound to be some hotties waiting for us down the line. That the others ignored him. Dai Mubai asked Tang San, Little San, you thinking of giving up? Tang San took a swig, said, no way. But we need to back off. Without some serious power, they're not going to give us the time of day. And if we can't get their attention, how are we ever going to be with them? If we're strong enough, we can bulldoze any obstacle in our path. That the others got it. Tang San wanted to level up, prove himself. If he couldn't charm them, he'd just muscle his way in. They exchanged glances. Makes sense. Ma Hongjun clapped Tang San on the shoulder. Third bro, you're the real deal. Oscar and Dai Mubai didn't say anything, but they were on board with Tang San's plan. The 4 of them finished their drinks and headed back to Shrek Academy under the moonlight. With them gone, Chowda and the others finally had some peace. Chowda and his crew had been hitting the Great Soul Arena like clockwork, fighting spirits every day. The rest of the time, when they weren't resting, they were training. This was prime time to level up. Once they hit 25, it'd be an uphill battle to make any gains. The Great Soul Arena was honing their fighting skills and racking up experience. Fishing in space was keeping them stocked with food to boost their training and improve their fitness. Throw in a bunch of natural talent and monsters, plus hard work, and they were leveling up fast. Before they knew it, over 20 days had flown by. Yes. I'm hitting level 30. Zhuqing had broken through today. Congrats, Zhuqing. I'm still a ways off. Ning Rongrong broke through a few days ago, hitting level 29, so it'd still be a bit before she reached 30. Looks like my brother's about to level up too. Xiao Wu noticed Chowda's spirit power was fluctuating, a sure sign he was about to break through. Zhuqing's breakthrough had given Chowda a boost, helping him level faster, and he was on the verge. Before long, Chowda had done it. His spirit power had shot up to level 52. Xiao Wu hadn't leveled up in a while, but she felt like she was getting faster. Chowda stared at Ning Rongrong and Zhuqing. Rongrong, Zhuqing, have you guys gotten taller? Xiao Wu grinned and said, took you long enough to notice. Not only are they taller, but they're filling out too, especially Rongrong. Ning Rongrong twirled, bursting with pride, how's that? Am I even hotter now? She'd gotten taller, and her figure was becoming more mature and alluring. She was going from girl to bombshell. Zhuqing hadn't changed as much as Ning Rongrong, since she was already growing fast, but her figure was getting better and better. Add in Xiao Wu, and among the 3, Zhuqing had the best body, followed by Xiao Wu. then Ning Rongrong, of course, their personalities were all different, and they each had their own unique appeal. Zhuqing said, eating that space-grown stuff every day does make you grow faster, and you can feel your fitness improving, and your training speed is way faster than before. Ning Rongrong suddenly looked worried. We're not going to keep growing forever, are we? I feel like I'm good where I'm at. Chowda reassured her, don't sweat it. Everyone's growth has its limits. Xiao Wu and I haven't changed in height at all, so we're done. Chowda was 5 feet 11 inches, and Xiao Wu, Ning Rongrong, and Zhuqing were all about 5 feet 7 inches, a good height for each of them. That's good, I don't want to turn into a giant. Ning Rongrong said, relieved. Chowda looked at Zhuqing and said, Zhuqing's at level 30, so you can start thinking about getting a soul ring. But let's wait for Rongrong to hit level 30 first, then we'll head to the Star Do Forest together and I'll help you get one. The two of them couldn't get a soul ring like Chowda and Xiao Wu. They had to hunt a spirit beast. Zhuqing nodded, yeah. Waiting for Rongrong won't hurt. Without a soul ring, you could still train, and your soul power would still build. You just couldn't fully unlock it until you got one. Thanks, I'll level up as fast as I can. Ning Rongrong was loving hanging out with her 3 friends, Chowda, Xiao Wu, and Zhuqing. She was having way more fun than she ever did back at the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School, and she was happy. She didn't want to split up, and hoped things could stay this way. They stuck to their usual routine, going from point A to point B. Their rep was blowing up at the Great Soul Arena. Some people tried to recruit them, but Chowda and the others weren't interested. Others who lost in spirit combat tried to cause trouble, but they could handle it. After all, it wasn't a life or death grudge, and nobody was out for blood. Almost a month later, Ning Rongrong finally hit level 30. Meanwhile, Xiao Wu had reached level 43, and Zhuqing was almost at level 31. Let's head to the Star Do Forest. The 4 of them left Soto City for the Star Do Forest. At the same time, back at Shrek Academy, Flender was planning to have Dai Mubai, Ma Hongjun, Oscar, and Tang San participate in spirit combat at the Soto City Great Soul Arena, but they missed Chowda and the others. Heaven Do City, 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School, Ning Fengzhi, Sword Douluo, and Bone Douluo had just gotten word from Ning Rongrong again. The guy who was secretly protecting Ning Rongrong reported that she'd been kicking it in Soto City with Chowda and Xiao Wu. He was supposed to report on Ning Rongrong every so often. Sword Douluo and Bone Douluo had wanted to bring Ning Rongrong home, but Ning Fengzhi stopped them. He wanted his daughter to get some experience, worried she'd get spoiled if she stayed at the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School. Bone Douluo, Rongrong's fighting spirits at the Great Soul Arena? You gotta be kidding me. She's just a support soul master. What if she gets hurt? No way, I'm bringing Rongrong back. It's too dangerous out there. Sword Douluo, Chowda and his buddies must be behind this. If I see them, I'm gonna teach them a lesson. Ning Fengzhi chuckled and shook his head. He knew they were overprotective of Ning Rongrong. Uncle Jian, Uncle Bone, did you notice that Rongrong and Zhuqing have fought over 30 spirits together and haven't lost a single match? They're practically silver spirit fighting badge material. Also, Rongrong and Zhuqing's spirit power has been growing way too fast. When Rongrong left, she'd barely hit level 26. In about 3 months, she's already at level 29. Took her about a month to level up, and Zhuqing's the same way. Chowda the Soul King's leveled up once, and Xiao Wu the Soul Sect's done it too. They're leveling fast. That's not normal. The news they had was from before Ning Rongrong hit level 30, so it was outdated. Really? Sword Douluo and Bone Douluo hadn't been paying close attention, and they hadn't finished reading. They'd freaked out as soon as they saw Ning Rongrong was fighting spirits. After looking closer, it was just as Ning Fengzhi had said. That's not normal. I'm going over there myself. They finally decided to send Bone Douluo, or they'd never rest easy. End of this chapter. Chapter 28 Star Do Great Forest, Black Butterfly. You are listening at novelfull.audio. From Barak Kingdom, a public road leads to and past the Star Do Great Forest. Chowda, Xiao Wu, Ning and Zhuqing hired a carriage and set off for the forest. They found inns along the way for overnight stays. The closer they got to the Star Do Great Forest, the more soul masters they encountered, until eventually, the crowds thinned out. The journey was smooth, without incident. The road ended at a small town bordering the Star Do Forest. Here, you could find medicinal herbs, elixirs, weapons, minerals, food, and lodging, as well as mercenary groups. Mercenary groups were a major fixture of the town. They served various purposes, mostly hiring out to hunt soul beasts for soul rings. Some groups ventured into the forest to find medicinal herbs, minerals, or other resources. A few were unscrupulous, preying on others, or hoping to get lucky and find a soul bone after killing a soul beast. Let's rest for half a day and head into the Star Do Forest tomorrow morning, Chowda suggested. The four found an inn. In the lobby, people were drinking and chatting. Hey there. Need some help? I'm with the Tiger Mercenary Corps. We can hunt soul beasts under 10,000 years old. Fair prices. Mercenary groups always had representatives in the inn, trying to drum up business. Chowda immediately displayed a black 10,000-year soul ring. No thanks. To have a 10,000-year soul ring, he had to be at least a soul king. And he looked barely over 20. Was he already a soul king? Seeing Chowda's ring, the mercenary gave up and left, clearly annoyed. Hey, you guys looking for a team-up? We can help each other hunt soul beasts. We got a soul king with us. How about it? After the mercenary solicitor left, someone else approached, looking to form a group. This time, Chowda revealed 3 10,000-year rings. The man was stunned. 3 of them? That meant he was at least a soul sage. But he looked way too young. The man sighed, realizing his strength was too low to cooperate with Chowda and his companions. Now, they were left alone. Xiao Wu chuckled. You really shut them down by flashing those rings, didn't you? Ning and Zhuqing couldn't help but laugh. Chowda shrugged. It'd be even more of a show if I revealed all my spirit rings. Ning nodded. True. Chowda currently had 5 soul rings, black, purple. These rings came courtesy of Xiao Wu, Lu Erlong, Qian Renxue, Ning and Zhuqing. The food at the inn was nothing special, but it was just for one night, so they made do. Early the next morning, the 4 left the inn and headed for the Star Do Forest. Several miles away, the Great Star Do Forest was enormous, stretching across both the Star Luo and Heaven Do empires from north to south. More than half of Douluo Continent's land-based soul beasts lived within its borders. With soul beasts of all ages and a wide variety of species, it was easier to find a suitable soul ring. What are your requirements for your 3rd soul ring? Your 7-treasure glazed tile pagoda martial spirit doesn't seem too demanding. Chowda asked. Ning explained. The 7-treasure glazed tile pagoda primarily enhances 6 aspects: strength, speed, soul power, defense, attack power, and overall amplification. There aren't specific requirements for the soul power and amplification aspects. For the other 4, it's best to find soul rings with corresponding characteristics to maximize the soul skill's effectiveness. My father wants my 3rd soul skill to enhance my soul power. So there aren't requirements to worry about, but in a way, that does put restrictions on what we can choose. Because we can't pick a soul beast that's outstanding in strength, speed, attack, or defense, or I might get a soul skill in one of those areas first. Wow, Zhuqing said, so, we need a soul beast that's unremarkable in every area, or one that's balanced. Sounds easy, but it's not. Chowda thought for a moment. I think it's better to go for a balanced soul beast. Those kinds of beasts should have strong soul power, which would be more effective for Rongrong's soul-enhancing skills. He then turned to Zhuqing. Zhuqing, do you have any particular soul skill effects you're hoping for? Zhuqing shook her head. Just something agile and aggressive. She didn't have a specific idea. Xiao Wu, perhaps feeling down about hunting soul beasts, had been quiet. Chowda understood, but still, they had to do what they had to do. Rongrong, Zhuqing, I want to make sure you both know the limitations when absorbing soul rings. Chowda asked, Ning Rongrong answered, I know a little. The 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School has done some research. Generally, you can exceed 1,000 years for your 3rd soul ring, but you can't exceed 2,000. The closer you get to 2,000, the more dangerous it gets. Soul masters on Douluo Continent had studied the absorption of soul rings, but their knowledge wasn't as precise as Yu Xiaojiang's. Chowda said, generally, the 3rd soul ring should be no more than 700 years old. Absorbing anything beyond that is risky and can even be fatal. However, you're different. With your improved physique, you can skip ahead and absorb stronger rings, so you should be fine as long as you don't go over 3,000 years. Chowda had researched this based on his own experiences and Xiao Wu's situation, so he was confident in his assessment. We trust you. Ning Rongrong and Zhuqing didn't question him. The space's ability to capture was impressive. They ventured into the Star Do Great Forest. The deeper they went, the stronger and older the soul beasts became. They constantly encountered soul beasts. Some ran away, some attacked, requiring them to deal with them, which slowed them down. Zhuqing could handle soul beasts in the early 1,000-year range, Xiao Wu could deal with those under 2,000 years, and Chowda could take on soul beasts of 4,000 or 5,000 years. They were now deep into the territory of 1,000-year-old soul beasts, and they could manage. On the first day, they didn't find a suitable soul beast, so they slept in the forest. Although they talked about sleeping in the open, all 4 entered the captured space, eliminating any worries about soul beast attacks and allowing them to rest comfortably. They continued the next day. In the afternoon, they encountered something strange. Several seemingly harmless butterflies approached them, landed on them, and then vanished. Ning Rongrong became despondent. I don't deserve to be human. I should be a slave. Zhuqing added, I should have died a long time ago. Living is a sin, and I'm a disaster. Xiao Wu said, I'm a rabbit. My meat is delicious. You can eat me. Perhaps because of the captured space, or some other reason, Chowda was unaffected. His mental power was strong. He spread his senses and quickly located the source. Not far away, a black butterfly was staring at them. Forbidden. Chowda restricted the oxygen in the space surrounding the butterfly, causing it to become hypoxic. The black butterfly flapped around frantically, nearly escaping the area. Even in low oxygen, it could still fly for a short time. The space wasn't a complete vacuum. A vacuum would require the removal of all gases. Without oxygen, the air pressure in the area would change, but it wouldn't become a true vacuum. Space jump. He manipulated space, teleporting the black butterfly in front of him, and then unleashed Breaker Fist. The compressed space on his fist expanded explosively. The destructive force of the impact slammed the butterfly to the ground. The black butterfly was seriously injured, its wings broken, and it struggled weakly. Its attack power was weak, but it could influence people's emotions. Judging from its soul power, the black butterfly was about 2,000 years old. It possessed dark attribute power, and it was fast. While it lacked offensive power, its ability to manipulate emotions was valuable. After Xiao Wu and the others recovered, Chowda instructed Zhuqing to hunt down the black butterfly and absorb its soul ring. Chapter 29 Zhuqing's different 3rd soul skill. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Zhuqing was busy absorbing the soul ring, so Chowda, Xiao Wu, and Ning Rongrong stood guard to make sure she wasn't disturbed. This black butterfly spirit beast was around 2,000 years old. According to Yu Xiaojiang's theory, Zhuqing was taking a big leap in absorbing it. However, Chowda figured that she could handle a higher-age spirit ring because he'd given her the means to improve her physique. Zhuqing trusted Chowda's judgment, and he was right. Zhuqing didn't show any signs of pain while absorbing the spirit ring, and everything went smoothly without a hitch. Once she was done, 3 soul rings, yellow, and purple, floated around her. Success. But just as everyone started celebrating, a pair of black butterfly wings slowly sprouted from Zhuqing's back. Zhuqing was speechless. Ning Rongrong asked, why butterfly wings? Is that a soul skill, or did something go wrong during absorption? Zhuqing, do you feel okay? Zhuqing sounded a little freaked out. It's not a soul skill. I don't know what's happening, they're just growing, and I can't control them. Xiao Wu worried, brother, what's going on? Chowda studied the black butterfly wings on Zhuqing's back. It's not a soul skill. I think Zhuqing accidentally got an external soul bone. External soul bone. Ning remembered hearing about them but never seeing one. I heard external soul bones are even rarer than regular ones. Zhuqing, you're incredibly lucky. Xiao Wu still looked puzzled. If it's attached externally, why can't Zhuqing control it? Zhuqing nodded, I just can't. It's not just about can't, Chowda explained. Zhuqing, think of the wings as another part of your body, like your hands or feet. Focus on controlling them. It takes time to get used to an external soul bone. I'll try, Zhuqing said, sitting down, closing her eyes, and focusing on feeling, adapting to, and controlling the wings. Chowda and the others watched. A few minutes later, the black butterfly wings on Zhuqing's back started to shrink and then disappeared completely, as if they'd never been there at all, leaving her clothes untouched. Black butterfly wings are a bit unreal and grow out without ruining the clothes. Zhuqing was still getting the hang of it. Then, the black butterfly wings reappeared, fluttering as she lifted off the ground. Regardless of whether the external soul bone had any other abilities, its butterfly wing form at least gave Zhuqing the power of flight, basically a flying spirit ability. That's so cool. Zhuqing looks like a gorgeous black butterfly. Ning and Xiao Wu watched Zhuqing soar through the air, a bit envious. Third soul skill, Nether Fall. A purple soul ring lit up around Zhuqing as she unleashed her new skill. 3 black butterflies appeared and flew toward Chowda, Xiao Wu, and Ning. Oh no, stay away. Don't want it. The black butterflies reminded Xiao Wu and Ning of bad news. They tried to stop the butterflies with their soul power, but the butterflies weren't solid, passing right through their hands and bodies. Ning knelt on the ground, defeated and demoralized. I want to be a little pig, just eat and sleep, eat. Xiao Wu was in a similar state. I'm so sorry, it's all my fault. I'm too ugly, I don't deserve to live. Chowda, on the other hand, was unaffected. So, you weren't affected at all, Zhuqing said as she landed next to Chowda. Chowda looked at her. You're really suited to the dark attribute. This soul skill makes people passive and degenerate, affecting their mood. It's powerful. But be careful, it won't work as well on people with strong willpower or those who are already passive and degenerate. How long does the soul skill last? Zhuqing thought. It depends on the person, usually 1 to 3 minutes. But as my dark attribute power grows, the effect and duration of the soul skill will increase. Besides flying, my wings can also absorb dark attribute power. It's just that dark attribute power isn't easy to find. It means that when encountering something or a place where dark attribute power gathers, release the black butterfly wings to absorb dark attribute power. What a great bonus, congratulations, Chowda said, smiling. Zhuqing smiled back. Thanks to you, or I wouldn't have had this surprise. Thank you. Chowda teased, why are you being so formal? If you really want to thank me, you could always offer yourself as repayment. Zhuqing just gave him a look. Zhuqing, we're supposed to be best friends. How could you do this to me? Xiao Wu said as the skill's effect faded. A moment later, Ning snapped out of it too. Zhuqing, you can't get away with this. The two of them teamed up to get revenge on Zhuqing. I made a mistake, I'll accept the punishment, Zhuqing pleaded. The 3 of them played around for a while before finally calming down. Then, they turned their attention to Chowda, giving him a look. Forget everything we said earlier. Chowda looked puzzled. What did you say? I don't remember. Humph, you better not. Those negative, self-deprecating words were way too embarrassing. Anyone who repeats them will be silenced. Let's keep going and help Rong find a suitable soul beast. The 4 of them continued their search through the forest, finding a soul beast with balanced abilities across the board was proving to be a challenge. Another day passed. Finally, they had a breakthrough. Two-headed scale snake. Attack, speed, defense, strength, soul power. It's relatively balanced in every aspect, that even though it was a snake, this spirit beast wasn't poisonous, relying on its other strengths instead. The two-headed scale snake was an all-around solid choice, Chowda estimated, around 500 years old, pretty suitable for Rongrong. Ning Rongrong agreed, that's the one. Zhuqing's black butterfly spirit ring had a specific cultivation period of more than 100 years, and there was no problem, that's why Ning Rongrong has confidence in absorbing more than 2,000-year-old spirit rings, star. I'll test it out first to see how much of an impact my third soul skill has, Zhuqing said, unleashing nether fall. This time, a dozen black butterflies flew toward the two-headed scale snake. The snake was alert, swatting at the butterflies with its tail. One of the butterflies passed right through its body. The eyes of the two-headed scale snake immediately changed, and it collapsed to the ground, motionless. It worked. The four of them approached cautiously. The two-headed scale snake clearly sensed the approaching danger, but it was too apathetic to move, resigned to its fate. If you die, you will die. What is the point of living? It is better to fulfill human beings, star. Zhuqing's soul skill is too strong, this was probably the easiest way to hunt soul beasts. The other soul beasts were too lazy to move, waiting for you to kill them. Just as Ning Rongrong was about to take down the two-headed scale snake, something unexpected happened. Stop! 6 people emerged from the woods, 5 men and 1 woman. Xiao Wu challenged them. What, are you trying to steal our soul beast? One of them retorted, we spotted this two-headed scale snake first. It's ours, they did spot it first, but didn't catch it, and kept looking around, star. Rongrong, hurry and get the soul ring. Zhuqing's soul skill won't last forever. Chowda ignored the others. At Chowda's word, Ning Rongrong pierced the two-headed scale snake's vital points. How dare you? You're asking for it. The newcomers were furious. Chapter 32 Battles 4, Complete Victory. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 30 World War II 4, Complete Victory. Xiao Wu, so, these Soul Sect guys are supposed to be tough, right? 3 out of the 6 facing them released their spirits, showing off their spirit rings. All 4, with 2 yellow and 2 purple, 4 spirit rings popped up on Xiao Wu too. Same deal, 2 yellow and 2 purple. Zhuqing wasn't far behind, showing 3 rings, 2 yellow and 1 purple. Chowda hung back, staying close to Ning Rongrong while she absorbed her spirit ring. He wasn't about to let her get interrupted. 1 soul sect, 1 soul master, and the other 2 are probably a soul master and another soul master, huh? 2 soul masters and 2 soul masters think they can just snatch someone else's spirit beasts. That's bold. The opposing group saw how young Chowda and the others were, their spirit power levels not looking too high, and figured they could take them. That's why they were stepping up. We only need 2 to deal with you. Xiao Wu, all tough and sassy, shot back, come on then. 1-on-1 or all at once, we're game. The other group's leader said, Fong Ping, go mess with her. They're gonna pay for stealing that spirit beast. Fong Ping, one of the 3 who'd already released his spirit and rings, sauntered forward with a smirk, looking down at Xiao Wu. Hey there, little sister. Let's play. Who do you think you're calling, bro? Xiao Wu vanished in a blur. She teleported behind Fong Ping and yelled, waist bow. She kicked him flying. PSH. That's all you got. Stay home if you're gonna be that weak. Sneak attack. Cheap shot. Someone from the other side yelled. Their boss frowned. All 3 of you, go. Take down those 2 first. He was done messing around with Xiao Wu. Can't handle the heat. Xiao Wu scoffed. She darted forward, teleporting constantly. Still trying to sneak attack, huh? The guy was ready this time, using his spirit power to defend, because he knew there wasn't time to launch a soul skill, but he still underestimated the combo of Xiao Wu's teleportation and waist bow. Even with his guard up, He got kicked off his feet and went tumbling. Xiao Wu didn't let up. After hitting one, she teleported and waist bowed the next. Mystic armor, that this guy threw up a defensive spirit ability, but all it did was knock him back a dozen steps. Meanwhile, Fang Ping, still fuming from Xiao Wu's kick, charged back. Netherworld 100 Claws. Zhuqing moved. Head bash. Fang Ping's spirit was an iron rod, and he immediately used 100-year soul skill to meet Zhuqing head-on, same tier of soul skill, but Zhuqing had the edge. Stop holding back. Their boss was pissed. His underling was getting beat by a soul sect and a soul master. He was losing face. He unleashed his spirit and rings, yellow, yellow, purple, purple, and black. A soul king, alright, looked like he was pushing 40, the remaining guy and girl hung back, looking nervous. They were the ones who'd hired the mercenary group of 4 to help hunt spirit beasts. Now the 3 were seeing red, ready to go all out to save their pride. Teleport. Waist bow. Xiao Wu handled the 2 soul sects with no problem. Zhuqing was going blow for blow with Fang Ping using her first and second soul skills alone. Chowda was using his space powers to block out the noise, making sure Ning wasn't disturbed. The opposing boss couldn't help himself. He charged Xiao Wu, and he went straight for his 4th soul skill, relentless slashing. The other 2 joined in, 3-on-1 against Xiao Wu. Invincible golden body. Xiao Wu went invincible for 3 seconds, ignoring attacks and getting a massive stat boost. While untouchable, Xiao Wu shrugged off their attacks, teleported, waist bowed, and crippled one of the soul sect guys, taking him out of the fight. Now it was 1-on-2, 1 soul sect and 1 soul king. The other side was in shock. This girl's skills were off the charts, and her combat sense was insane. She was a monster. Even though Xiao Wu was a beast in a fight, she was burning through her energy fast. Xiao Wu, hang in there. Zhuqing sprouted black butterfly wings and soared into the air. Then she went for her 3rd soul skill, Netherfall. 6 black butterflies appeared and swooped toward the 6 people. Butterflies. The 6 opponents tensed, blasting the butterflies with spirit power and skills, but nothing worked. They tried swatting at them, but that was useless too. Oh, you guys are so screwed. Xiao Wu teleported out of the way, not wanting to accidentally brush against a black butterfly. The 6 black butterflies phased right through the bodies of the 6 people. Their eyes went strange instantly. They went passive and degenerate. They gave up the fight, started spouting weird stuff, and doing bizarre things. What was happening? They knew what they were saying and doing. They wanted to stop, but they just couldn't. When they snapped out of it, it was going to be a social media apocalypse. Ha ha. Hearing what they were saying and seeing what they were doing, Xiao Wu was cracking up so hard her chest was pressed against her back. This was too funny. Zhuqing landed, folding her wings, but kept 6 black butterflies hovering around her, ready to pounce again. About a minute later, the Soul King boss was first to snap out of it. He looked furious, glaring at the black butterflies beside Zhuqing. He didn't dare move again. This soul skill was way too broken. Then the other 5 slowly recovered, trembling when they saw the black butterflies near Zhuqing. Hey, still wanna fight? Can't even beat a butterfly. Go home and practice. Xiao Wu grinned. And just so you know, the spirit beasts in the Star Do Great Forest don't belong to anyone. First come, first served. Oh, and the most important thing, don't judge a book by its cover. There's always someone bigger and badder out there. Show off. Let's go. What else could they do? They couldn't figure out how to stop Zhuqing's black butterflies. If they stayed, they'd just embarrass themselves more, and Xiao Wu and the others had clearly shown them mercy. We burned through a lot of juice this time, but that was a blast. Xiao Wu went over to Zhuqing. Zhuqing, your black butterfly skill is seriously OP. Zhuqing shook her head, looking at Chowda. He wouldn't be affected. It's not always a sure thing. There's always something that can counter it. Didn't you just say there's always someone bigger and badder out there? Xiao Wu blushed. I was just saying stuff. Chowda came over to Xiao Wu and Zhuqing. You both fought great. Duh. Xiao Wu said proudly. A Soul King? I ain't scared. You. Chowda ruffled Xiao Wu's hair, then he told Zhuqing, your black butterfly ability has less of an effect, and for less time, on people with stronger spirit power. Keep that in mind. The Soul King was messed up for less than a minute. A Soul Emperor would be even less. A Soul Saint might barely feel it. Also, people with strong wills or who are already naturally depraved are less affected. Got it. Zhuqing already realized that. Gotta keep leveling up my spirit power. Right now, Zhuqing was level 32, absorbing a spirit ring above your level gives a bigger boost to spirit power. After a little while, Ning absorbed her spirit ring. No soul bone, no external soul bone. Zhuqing just wasn't that lucky. With this soul ring of more than 2,400 years, my spirit powers hit level 31, and I'll reach 32 soon. And my new soul skill boosts spirit power. Right now, it roughly boosts the spirit power of other spirit masters at my level by 50% and lasts for about half an hour. Ning was thrilled with the result, because the spirit ring was older than what she originally had, the soul skill was even stronger. End of this chapter.